Hey everybody, David Guido here, founder and CEO, Chief Encouragement Officer at DRG Performance Solutions, and author of the brand new book, What If? 30 Days to Powerful New Perspective. And this week I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted to learn new stuff? Have you ever thought, wow, I'd like to grow, learn new things, but then ultimately tell yourself, yeah, but I don't have the time. I'm too busy. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself, sitting in traffic, construction, and I live here in the Pittsburgh area, and 17 out of every 10 roads are under construction around here. So if you ever sat in that stuff, you ever sat in traffic, what happens? A lot of times we get frustrated, right? We get angry, we're just kind of tense, we're stressed, we're just, And it not only ruins that moment, that drive, but kind of ruins the day. And, for 20 plus years, I was a sales rep. And I put hundreds of thousands of miles on numerous company vehicles, personal vehicles. I had a couple of jobs that were office jobs, and in those cases, I was in the car for an hour a day, some 45 minutes sometimes, but typically an hour a day. And I would get frustrated, and I would get aggravated, and you have to wait in all these places, and I would just not be productive. I wouldn't be pleasant to be around. When I got to wherever it was I was going, I wasn't particularly kind to people. I didn't feel like working, had to vent. Have you ever sat in your office and somebody comes in, they've been sitting in traffic or construction, and they need to tell everybody about it? What's that do to the mood, right? Maybe you can identify with some or even all of that. And what I discovered finally was that there was a better way. A way that I could take that time and turn it into a benefit for me, use it for good. And in short, I decreased my stress and increased my productivity, my mood, my outlook, my approach, my attitude, everything, by discovering Automobile University. In 2013, the Harvard Health Study released some data, some findings from a study that they had done. And what they found, so we make sure we check our facts, is that the average American spends 101 minutes per day driving. Now, in 2015, AAA conducted their own survey, and they found that the average is 46 minutes a day. Either way, 46, 101, it's a lot of time. And when you add that up per day, per week, per month, per year, over a lifetime, you're getting into some astronomical numbers of time that you're sitting in a car. And the first time I ever heard the term Automobile University was from the great Zig Ziglar, who loved that phrase, coined that phrase. And what it basically means is taking your car and turning it into a university that you enroll in. So instead of listening to news talk, the crime report, which is what that typically is, right? You listen to a book on CD instead of sports talk radio, which is basically yelling and debating and screaming at one another and insulting one another and criticizing everybody, right? Instead of that, listen to an inspirational speaker on satellite radio. Instead of music about sex and drugs and violence and music that degrades groups or people, listen to music that lifts you up, that inspires you, that gets you pumped, doesn't drag you down. That's Automobile University in a nutshell. And what we find when we do those things, when we listen to those types of things, is we find that there's a number of benefits, all kinds of benefits. In particular, there's three very powerful benefits, advantages, if you will, to turning your car into Automobile University. We're going to cover those right now. And the first one, incredible, simple, but the simple is usually where you find the profound. And the first is you learn more. You become more intelligent. And Zig loved to tell this powerful story of his executive assistant, Lori Majors. And when Lori came to work for Zig, the last year of school she had completed was the 10th grade. Fast forward many years, and if memory serves me correct, I believe this was the late 90s, and Zig had all of the people at Ziegler Inc. tested to see where they tested out at, what their relative level was. And Lori Majors tested at the master's degree level. Now, how is that even possible? The last year of school you ever do is the 10th grade. Years later, you're at the master's degree level up here. How does that happen? Well, it happens because of Automobile University. And if you ask Lori, she'll tell you day after day, week after week, month after month, over an extended period of time, she didn't listen to the news talk. She didn't listen to the sports talk. She didn't listen to the music about, angry stuff, loud stuff, sex, drugs, violence, all this stuff. She listened to books on tape, CD. She listened to inspirational music, uplifting music, speakers that taught her, inspired her. She enrolled in Automobile University. And if you do the same thing, you will find that your learning, your intelligence, your knowledge will explode exponentially. So the first benefit is that we learn more, we expand our mind, we expand our knowledge, we are more intelligent. Second benefit is that we're inspired, we're encouraged. So often when we listen to the news or we listen to people yell and scream at each other in sports talk radio and criticize each other, and so often when we listen to this music that's degrading and negative and it's about things, that glorify sex and drugs and violence and all this other stuff, we're not inspired. We're not lifted up. We don't listen to that kind of stuff, get out of the car and go, I'm ready for the day. I'm so excited now. Everything was so positive. That crime report on the news, one crime story after another, the negative report about the economy, the negative report about the traffic, et cetera, it has me excited, pumped, I'm ready to go. That's not the way it works. But when we listen to stuff that by its nature is inspiring, that reminds us of how wonderful we are, our gifts, our abilities, our talents, that we live in this great world, in this great society with these incredible opportunities. It boosts our self-image, it boosts our self-worth. We're putting good stuff in, we're feeling good about ourselves, our circumstances. It inspires, encourages, lifts us up. It doesn't pull us down. It makes us feel better about ourselves, makes us understand who we really are, how great we really are, and how much we can do. And then we're ready to attack the day. That's the second benefit. It inspires, it encourages us. It makes us feel great, it increases our self-worth and our self-esteem. And the third is your frame of mind improves, your mood improves. The third benefit, if you think about it, we don't listen to this stuff, this negative stuff. We don't sit in traffic for an hour and a half. We don't get stuck in one construction zone after another over the course of 30, 45, 60 minutes, 2 hours. Get out of the car and feel great, especially if the input has been all angry input, loud input, negative input. We can't feel good. And then we're not productive in the job we're paid to do. We're not interested in interacting with the people that we're paid to interact with. We're not friendly to the people that are serving us. We're not as inclined to serve other people. But you see, when you enroll in Automobile University and you're putting that good stuff in and you're learning and you're feeling good about how you're growing and how you're expanding, and when you're putting in good stuff and you're reminded that there's a lot of good out there, when you're reminded that there's a lot of good about you, then you get to work and you're ready to go. Then you want to interact with people. Then the traffic is mitigated, the frustration's mitigated because you've been putting good stuff in. And so the third benefit is that we we just change our mood. we just go from being in a bad mood to a good mood, a great frame of mind. So those are the three benefits that we have the three most powerful benefits that we have to enrolling in Automobile University. How do you enroll in Automobile University? It's easy. Start listening to a different radio station right off the bat, right? You know, there's great radio stations out there that play positive stuff, uplifting stuff, that have speakers that are going to teach you, that are going to educate you, right? So that's the first thing. You know, the second thing is invest in satellite radio. And I did the math. Can you forego one latte every 2 weeks? I'm betting you can, right? I got faith in you, right? You can forego a latte every 2 weeks, right? And that money pays for a year of satellite radio where there's so much incredible positive content, right? Buy a book on CD, pop it in. It's easy to get started. It's easy to enroll in Automobile University. And for those of you that commute by bus, by train, all of those things apply to you. iTunes, not only in the car, but certainly on the bus, certainly on the train, iTunes, any and all of that stuff is available to you. I have books and I have music on my iTunes that is inspiring, uplifting, that's teaching me and bringing my knowledge, my intelligence to a new level. So if you do those things, if you get that satellite radio subscription, if you just change the channel, if you get some good books on CD or tape, I still have a car with a tape player, which I think I just dated myself. You do those things, you're going to experience these incredible benefits. You're going to learn. Your intelligence, your base of knowledge is going to explode. And like Laurie Majors, you'll go from one level to another level. And isn't that what this is all about? It's getting to whatever our next level is. It doesn't matter if it was 10th grade or college. It doesn't matter where you stopped your education. It doesn't matter. Your learning and your knowledge and your intelligence base will explode. That's the first thing, right? Second thing is that we're inspired, we're encouraged, we're lifted up. It improves our self-worth and our self-esteem to not only be growing and know that we're growing, feel it, but get all that great information and get those wonderful, inspiring, and encouraging speeches or talks or music. And the third benefit is just simply puts us in a better mood. When we're sitting out there in that traffic and we're sitting out there in that construction and we're in the car for 45 minutes a day, 101 minutes a day, whatever your number is, every time you get out of the car, if you've been putting in the good stuff, if you've been enrolled in your Automobile University class for that driving time, your mood can't help but be great. And all of those things are part of that so good life. So I thank you so much for listening, for watching, for reading. As always, I'm so humbled and so grateful and feel so blessed for the comments that I receive, for the feedback I get. People reach out to me, and it's just really neat to see that and to know that some impact is being made. And again, as always, share this with anybody that you feel like can benefit from it. We're called to serve every day, to make a difference in people's lives. And if you know somebody that is just, in this particular case, they're commuting a long time every day, a couple hours a day or more, and they're frustrated and they're aggravated, and they live in a place like here, in Pittsburgh, where 17 out of every 10 roads are under construction. Share this with them so that they have a plan, have a direction, have some thoughts, have some ideas on how they can turn that to serve them. Make a difference. Share this with somebody who it will serve. So again, my sincerest thanks and appreciation. And you will find that there'll come a point in time where you'll get stuck in that traffic jam or that construction zone, and it may still be a little frustrating, and you may still be like, I got to get where I got to get. But that gives me a little bit more time to listen to this really cool thing, so it's okay, actually. And when you get there, that's when it's really cool, and that's when it's really serving you. So until the next time, thank you again. Go out there every day. Discover something new. Reach for your stars. Reach for your dreams. Go for it. And live the life that is so good.